Hello, I'm Father Joe Gambala, pastor of St. Malachy Catholic Church in Sterling Heights. Welcome to Saints of the Summer. Today's July 18th. Today's saint is Saint Pambo. Well, let me begin by telling you a story. When I was a very young priest, I was finishing my second year at Christ the Good Shepherd in Lincoln Park. And I was given permission to go to Spain for the summer and learn Spanish. I studied Spanish in Salamanca. But prior to going to Spain, I made up my mind that since I was going to be in Spain, Portugal is right next door, so that I would go to take petitions to Fatima. And I told the people of Christ the Good Shepherd that if they wrote me a petition, I would take it to Fatima. Well, boy, did they write me petitions. I had a huge box filled with these petitions. It took up a quarter of my suitcase. So I said, well, I have an obligation now to visit Fatima. And I'm in Salamanca, and I don't understand anything about the train system in Europe. I just thought you went and bought a ticket and you were all set. That's not true. There are different tickets for different sections of the train. I bought a ticket not realizing I was buying a ticket in the lower class area, usually reserved for students who would travel all around Europe on this Euro pass, which meant that I was in a car with very few seats and an awful lot of young people. And I said, I need a place to sit down. So I went over to the food car and spent most of the time in there sitting and reading and waiting till I got across the border. And we finally got to Fatima. It was early the morning the next day. This was a slow train. I didn't know the difference between the fast direct trains and the local trains that stopped everywhere. But I did get to Fatima that next morning and very sleepily got into a taxi cab that drove me up the mountain to the shrine. And I remember how fast that guy drove on that mountain road and how I prayed and prayed and prayed. I thought that taxi cab driver was doing a great job drawing people closer to the Lord, because you would pray if you were on that road with him on that narrow mountain pass. Nevertheless, I got up there and I delivered those petitions. Well, St. Pambo was involved a lot with petitions. He lived in the desert in Egypt. He was a disciple of St. Anthony, the founder of the desert monks. And he lived for a very long time in the desert. And in Pambo's many, many years, people would come out with their petitions. Some of these petitions were very basic things involving disputes or involving health. But some of these petitions involved callings as to whether or not they were being called to a greater role in the church. And indeed, three saints, not knowing it at the time, came to see Pambo to see if they were called to become more involved in the church. One became St. Athanasius, another St. Rufinus, and another St. John the Dwarf. And they all, because of their pilgrimage to Pambo and seeking his advice, Pambo told all of them, yes, you're called to spread the gospel. You're called to be ordained. So when we seek advice and we take our petitions, be open to the response. You too might be called to be a saint.